I do a certain personal development practice that I'm not going to directly name or get into the details of yet, because I don't quite feel comfortable with doing that yet. I think if you listen to me, you can kind of tell what I'm talking about, but it's just something I don't want to put. I don't want to say too directly. It's like in a TV show when they blur out a logo, or a music video where they blur out a logo because they don't want to get sued, but it's very obvious what that logo was that they blurred out. Oof, burp. I do a process that involves changing yourself. I guess it's just the best way I can put it. It changes yourself quickly, like quicker than you could do without this process. And there are a few ways to do this. There are different scales to which you can do this process. We'll just call it doing a big dance. It's a big dance that changes you. And sometimes people do the dance. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a big dance. It's just a dance. Sometimes people do a big dance wherein they have enormous changes, sometimes overnight, and sometimes people do just a small dance. Just little tiny pieces. 1 or 2 little dance moves. And it changes you. Or maybe it doesn't change who you are, but it brings you back to the level of your authentic self before any sort of persona that you're putting on. Now, the big dance can sort of be thought of like if you are a great big brick wall, which I think is a metaphor. Is that a metaphor that was used in Another Brick in the Wall? I have to admit, I haven't listened to a lot of Pink Floyd or watched The Wall. I'm going to have to do that one of these days. It's just that the albums are so long, and it seems like they're best when taken as an entire album, like not individual singles. So I promise I will get around to it. Anyway, but think of yourself as a brick wall, great big wall. And when you do a big dance, it's like swinging a big wrecking ball at this wall that demolishes a great portion of it, or maybe even the entire thing. And then it immediately reconstructs that wall with new bricks. It's a little bit like that whole metaphor of, you replace a plank of wood on a ship. And then you do it over and over again. At what point does it stop being an old ship and become a new ship? But the way that I do it more often, that I did throughout most of last summer, a small dance is like you just remove one single brick and then replace it. And then you just do that over and over again. And you slowly remove parts of yourself, or you just dissolve away more and more of this false self that you've thought of. And then eventually the results culminate to being the same as the big dance. The big dance is very, very overwhelming. It's very, very overwhelming. And I've only been in the place where I could do it every once in a while. Even starting to get interested in doing dances. But I think in this coming year, I'm probably going to do quite a few more big dances than I have in the past. Like, I'll probably do as many this year as I've done in my entire life. And that's pretty exciting. It's scary. It's scary. I mean, it's the whole thing about wherever is not marked on a map. They used to say there would be dragons here. The parts of yourself that you haven't explored, the parts of your mind you haven't explored, are dragons. Or you can assume that they are. You often get up to them and realize they're not dragons. They're little cute hummingbirds. But this is just something that's been really, really important to me. And I feel like has been a big reason for why my personal development has accelerated so much in the past year. I really do feel like my whole life is everything leading up to last year. And then this is the most distinctly different chapter. That's oversimplifying it for sure. But man, to really change in a short period of time and to really be aware of all the ways that you're changing. It can be scary. It's not always a pleasant feeling, but it is amazing. It's a spectacle. It's a scary spectacle. And you know, when I was thinking about the idea for this video, coincidentally that day, my media psychicness coming back, my friend puts on Brick by Boring Brick by Paramore.